Appreciate everybody coming today, and I want you to know that myself and Chairman McNally did not call this press conference without much thought and deliberation, and we don't stand here in front of you with any sense of happiness or joy about what we're talking about today while we're here. But you've read several reports in the news media the last couple of weeks, and you've got some information in your hands concerning what I see as a lack of accountability by the judicial branch of government. And I think this lack of accountability has been evident for many years, and it surfaced again just recently in regards to an issue where the Supreme Court Justice of the state of Tennessee, I believe, violated the Judicial Code of Ethics. Today, following Senator McNally's remarks, I'm going to have an announcement, and I appreciate y'all again being here and reporting this to the citizens of the state of Tennessee, because this is a very, very important issue when the integrity of a third branch of government, which is the judicial branch, is called into question. So, Senator McNally, thank you for being here, and I'll yield to you for remarks.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Chairman Bell. Most of the individuals that are either attorneys or judges are very good and dedicated people. I think there are definitely problems with the judicial or the criminal justice system and the justice system, in that over the years the relationship has been controlled to a large extent through the trial lawyers, criminal defense lawyers, and those type individuals, and it's really, I think, harmed justice. And I first worked on this issue back during the Zuman Husky case, which Tom will probably remember. Senator Burchett and I were trying to get the billing records for the attorneys that defended that individual who had been convicted of raping, torturing, kidnapping some women. We had a great deal of difficulty. Finally, we're able to introduce legislation. At that point, the courts decided that could be released, and lo and behold, there was one of the attorneys who found that he was able to work more than 24 hours in a day in defending these criminals. And it continued on. Probably the latest was Judge Baumgartner in Knoxville, and I just find it shocking that an individual was able to sit on the bench for a number of years, and that as far as we can tell, nobody made a public complaint about his behavior. And it just sort of points out that there needs to be more transparency in the judicial system. There needs to be better accountability. And I had introduced a bill that moved a lot of the functions of the administrative office of the court, the Judicial Performance Committee, the Board of Judicial Conduct, which was previously the Court of Judiciary, under the review of the Comptroller and the Treasurer. And we, of course, were tied up with other issues that dealt with the case, the Christian Newsom case that Judge Baumgartner oversaw, and then another judge proceeded in screwing it up further. But it's something that I'm supportive of Mike, and I think that there needs to be some hard questions asked about the system that governs these individuals and that provides for the appointment of of judges in the state. But I commend him on his efforts and just stand here in full support of what he's endeavoring to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman McNally. And the announcement that I want to make, in light of the information that's been reported and that's contained in the background or information that you have in your hands, and in light of the letter that I think many of you have seen that was addressed to the Honorable Chris Kraft, and it was signed by the Speaker Pro Tem and by many members of the Senate Government Operations Committee and other members as well, members of the Judiciary Committee, and the concerns expressed in that letter, I'm announcing that the Senate Government Operations Committee will be having hearings on judicial accountability. Those hearings yet, we don't know for sure when they're going to happen. Before the end of the week, I will give you a firm date of when those meetings are going to happen. We're still working out the logistics of having the hearings, but they will happen. The hearings will happen before the end of this month. The announcement will come before the end of the week. And I want to leave you, before I end our part of our prepared statements, I want to end you in this with, you've already heard, and you're going to continue to hear from some in the judicial branch, some in the legal community, some who want to protect the current system that we have, that this is just part of the campaign against the independence of the judiciary, or attacking the independence of the judiciary. It is not. This is about bringing accountability to a branch of government that the founders of our state intended to be accountable to the legislature in 1796. We just celebrated the 218th birthday of our state, and the founders of our state had the legislature choosing the Supreme Court judges, and that's the way it was for the first several decades of our state. Then the people of the state of Tennessee, through a constitutional convention, said that the members of the Supreme Court should be accountable directly to the people by putting in our Constitution that they should be elected directly by the people. And as you know, the history in 1971, through a legislative act, the accountability to the people was fundamentally changed, and we're left now in a spot where the judicial branch of government, especially at the appellate level, has very little accountability. And that's where these hearings are going to focus, and specifically on what has happened recently. So again, thank you for being here today. Thank you for taking the time to come.
Hearings, what you expect?
Still working on how that's going to work. I do know there are going to be hearings, but the format, it will be a Senate Government Operations Committee meeting. It'll be limited to the Senate Government Operations Committee.
Did you talk to the House about joining in?
I have not.
Did you ask the House Government Operations Committee to participate?
I have not.
And why not?
This has just been a focus of it's been an issue that I guess I've been an integral part of from the beginning, and again, having to try to get this hearing done in a short amount of time, and knowing that we're going to, from the logistics, we're going to have a hard time putting it together before the end of June, we decided to limit it to the Senate Government Operations Committee for logistics reasons.
So you do anticipate this will take place before July 1st?
I'm sorry, would you ask that again?
So you anticipate this will take place sometime in June?
Yes, before the end of June.
Chairman Kelsey's not here today. Obviously, he's chairman of the Judiciary Committee. Have you spoken with him about it? Have you have any indication? Is he supportive of this? Is he looking to, is there any chance it might be expanded and include the Judiciary Committee?
It probably will not be expanded to include the Judiciary Committee. I will put out invitations to Chairman Kelsey as chairman of the Judiciary Committee to attend, as well as Chairman McNally. I will put out the invitation for him to attend as well because of his concerns.
Have you spoken to,
He's been trying to ask a question.
Why the rush?
I'm sorry?
Why the rush? To get the hearings so quickly? Why the rush?
The JPEC the Judicial Performance Evaluation Commission goes out of existence on June 30th. They're in wind down. We could probably wait till afterwards, but it would be easier to have it before they go out of existence.
Do you think
Would you
this
say
could
that this could reflect negatively on the sitting Supreme Court justices and therefore is somewhat related to the retention election? You are having it in time to get it out prior to the election.
Of course, if that was the reason, we could have it in July as well. The end of June date wouldn't matter. It's not our purpose. This is not part of the retention election campaign. That's been carried on by other people. So no, this is not part of that. Whether it reflects negatively on the sitting Supreme Court justice or not, that'll be up to the people to decide.
you think it could affect what's actually on the ballot on August 7th, whether the recommendation to retain or not?
I couldn't say.
Well,
I'm wondering legally, I mean, is there?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there any thought that legally could change what wording actually appears on the ballot, whether the recommendation retains?
I don't think so. I've not considered that question, but I don't think so.
And so what exactly are you going to be looking at here?
In a broad sense, it'll be judicial accountability.
I mean, in a specific sense, are you all going to be looking into what you say was the improper conduct of the Chief Justice?
That will be part of the hearing.
And you'll be taking a look at the Board of Professional Responsibility and the Judicial?
The Board of Judicial Conduct, not the Board of Professional Responsibility.
Will you call the sitting Supreme Court justice to attend these hearings?
That decision's not been made.
Will you invite him?
I'm sorry?
Will you invite him, or?
I'm sure that's not out of the possibility, but that's not something that we've discussed. But he is an integral part of this, and it will be a public hearing. Of course, anybody can come.
We have time for one more question.
Yeah, we've got to be at a bill signing in just a few
You're
minutes.
not going to subpoena him?
I wouldn't expect to.
Chairman
The critics are going to say that, that this is political, that you're doing this, in advance of an election here, and that, there are a number of, and there's a coordinated effort by the speaker, your own speaker, to defeat these incumbents that are run. I mean, how do you argue that it's not political?
Well, I wasn't the one that made the statements to the Knoxville News Sentinel. I wasn't the one who chose to make, again, what I think are very clear ethical violations. And I wasn't the one who brought this matter forth. Now, I was the one who met with Mr. DeSenza. In fact, I didn't even think I should have had to meet with him. He should have, they could start investigations without anybody filing a complaint or without anybody bringing information to them. But I did, and if this has come to light now, it's come to light because of the actions of others, not myself or anybody else in the Senate.
Thank you very much.
The Board of Judicial Conduct employs a disciplinary counsel who specializes in judicial ethics. Mr. DeSenza has prosecuted Democrats and put Democrats into prison. What makes you think your reading of the law is better than his?
It's not just my reading of the law, and it's not the law, it's the Judicial Code of Ethics, which is not law.
He said this was not a violation. So what makes you think your reading of the code
Again,
is better than his?
Again, it's not just mine, but it's other people I'm relying on as well, who are attorneys and who are experts in the Judicial Code of Ethics.
Can you name them?
We will, but this is not the time.
Could
Thank you
James
very
Taylor-
much. We